Intentional or incompetence? Could this have been prevented? Was it a natural disaster, poor leadership, or something more sinister?
They knew on January 1st, January 2nd that the fires were coming. Like, it was inevitable that there would be fires. Like, there was like zero doubt among anybody that knows anything about fire in Los Angeles that the fires were coming. The fires were coming. So the governor should have been there, the mayor should have been there. By the time the fire trucks are having to weave their way up those little hills of the Pacific Palisades, it's over. My first thing I did is I was like, look, they're going to come out and say it was inevitable, and that's just a total lie.
Because of global warming.
Yeah, because of global warming. They knew the fires were coming, and they didn't do anything. The mayor leaves the country. She flies to Ghana after having promised not to leave the country, by the way. But literally they could just be in those neighborhoods, just sitting there for days at a time, waiting for the fires to happen, put them out as soon as they happen. We're at 10,000 structures at this point, homes and buildings gone, 200,000 people evacuated. It's madness. It never needed to get to that level. They just needed to have been there before the fire started, and they didn't do that because the politicians are they're focused on themselves. They're focused on the next political office they want to get. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the water runs out.
One of the most talked about theories is the alleged connection between the fires and California's proposed high-speed rail system. Critics have noted how strikingly the areas affected by wildfires align with the planned rail route. When it comes to fires, nothing is a coincidence. The California high-speed rail system lines up perfectly with historical fire data over the last 120 years. Could this be intentional? Or is it just a coincidence? As questions grow, investigative journalist Michael Shellenberger weighed in during an interview with Tucker Carlson. Michael Shellenberger, known for his on-the-ground reporting, outlined the leadership failures and questionable decisions surrounding the fires. Shellenberger shared damning details about California's leadership. Here's what he said. California is the richest state with the highest taxes, and yet it cut funding for firefighting, which led directly to LA's catastrophic fires. Why? Because Newsom and Bass diverted billions from preventing and fighting catastrophic fires to migrants, homelessness, and climate subsidies. He further highlighted a $17.5 million cut in the LA Fire Department's budget. While Mayor Karen Bass claimed this didn't harm firefighting efforts, the fire chief himself disagreed. He stated, and I quote, "The $17 million budget cut did absolutely negatively impact the department. These financial decisions have real consequences, not just for fire management, but also for California's citizens who are left vulnerable to disasters." Another key issue is California's failure to implement tried-and-true fire prevention methods, like cut lines. This practice, where fields or forests are cleared in advance to stop fire spread, was abandoned due to environmental concerns, possibly over the migration patterns of small animals. Additionally, California's reservoirs, a critical resource for firefighting, weren't properly maintained. One of the largest reservoirs near the fire zones remained empty due to a damaged liner that could have been repaired in days, but it wasn't.
Here are the top 7 most dystopian facts about the wildfires in California right now that have burned over 26,000 acres, affected more than 30,000 people, and killed at least 5. Number 1. Insurance companies canceled fire coverage for thousands of residents ahead of these fires, so now people who have lost literally everything will get no compensation. Number 2. A huge portion of the first responders are actually prison inmates who will earn $5.80 to $10.24 a day to risk their lives performing literal slave labor. Number 3, despite wildfires being common in California and worsening in recent years due to climate change, the fire response was still grossly unprepared. Number 4, the mayor of Los Angeles recently cut the fire department funding by $17.5 million. Number 5, the fire department is incredibly understaffed despite having a wait list of people waiting to sign up because of those budget cuts. Number 6, the fires are currently 0% contained. And number 7, a block away from where people are desperately fleeing and watching their lives burn to ash, it's business as usual. You can have a barista make you a fresh coffee while you watch the smoke and flames of irreparable damage. Imagine watching the world literally burn all around you, but your boss is telling you to keep working anyway.
What's clear is that the state's firefighting systems were underfunded and underprepared. Is this incompetence or deliberate negligence? The lines blur as we examine more evidence. The fires have also brought another issue to light: arson. In recent weeks, numerous reports have surfaced of individuals setting fires intentionally. Even celebrities like David Spade have stepped in, offering $5,000 rewards for anyone who helps catch arsonists. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass claimed her $17.5 million cut to the LA Fire Department budget did not impact the department's ability to prevent or fight fires. But the LA fire chief told CNN that the $17 million budget cut did absolutely negatively impact the department. In a chaotic situation like this, the question becomes, are these random acts of violence by desperate individuals, or is there something more coordinated at play? Some speculate these fires aren't just about mismanagement or natural disasters. A tweet by Jack Danger hints at a deeper conspiracy. Well-placed sources have said the fires are being used to destroy child trafficking tunnels under the Pacific Palisades and beyond. This is no ordinary land grab. While these claims lack hard evidence, they've fueled public skepticism. With so many overlapping failures, from budget cuts to environmental missteps, it's hard not to wonder, is this a series of unfortunate events, or is something else going on? Whether these fires stem from incompetence, intentional neglect, or something more conspiratorial.
I talked to a fireman once. This is one of the reasons it freaked me out. And he was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean. And there's not a fucking thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing they can do.